Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of 0 to 60. It's actually a late night episode, just gone 9 o'clock here. But I'm here with the Vargas car and we're doing window regs. Super common problem on E90s. Both of these window regs are gone. Both of O'Reilly's window regs are gone. My mother's E90, I think we've done those window regs 3 times in the 10 years she's had it. Mark's E90, the rear window regs have gone. It is definitely a common problem. You seem to get sort of 5 to 10 years out of a regulator. But it's an easy thing to fix. So if you want to know how to do it, that's what this video is going to be. So I'll just show you some symptoms that your window regulator might be failing. The biggest giveaway is that the window falls down. But I'll show you on this one. Hopefully we can hear it. And it's just crunching the cable. Okay, so it's definitely cooked. In fact, I have a feeling this has been a problem since we got this car. It may have been temporarily fixed with a self-tapping screw, which is currently holding the window up, but ignore that. If your window's stuck down, follow these steps. Okay, so first things first. You need to take this trim panel off and then that trim panel. Now, I'm gonna do that with a pry tool. Okay, in fact, you guys can watch, because why not? So I normally try and get these ones off from the edge first, and it's just a matter of getting the tool between the door card and the panel, and then it will just start to pull away. It's just those 3 points there that hold it on, and it has got a little hooky bit just here as well. Once you got that off, you can then pull the door handle off. And this one's just starting to go a bit tacky, which is a very common problem. From there, it is just a Torx bit. Now, there's a Torx screw. Let me make sure you guys can see what's going on. We have a Torx screw there, and up in the top here. So we'll get those off. And then that one there. Okay, once you've got the 3 Torx bits undone, it's now just a matter of prying the door card off. Again, I use my trusty little pry thing, where you just sneak it in the side, if you can. Come on. Just like that. Oh. And then pry the door card away. As soon as you get your fingers in there, you just work your way around the bottom and up to the top. And she pulls away. Once you've got that pulled away, it's then just a matter of undoing the cable for the door handle, which just pulls off like that, then the speaker wire, and then the window switch. This is where a lot of people make a bit of a mistake, myself included, when I first did one of these about 10 years ago. In fact, somebody has made the mistake. They've damaged, that's a shame. They've damaged the weather strip or the weather shield, whatever it is. Now, when you break these, when you tear these, you can cause leaks into the car, which is a bit of a problem. If you've got a good one that doesn't have a big tear in the middle, the way that I take them off is just try and work a blade and just cut it off. This one's been pulled off before. Oh, it's terrible. Okay, this is bad. Oh, it's a mess. Okay. Basically, what you want to do is just take your time with this and not remove all the glue away, because this will cause it to leak, which is a bit of a problem with BMWs. In fact, I'd say most of the leaky BMW issues are caused by people not removing this properly. All right, I'll keep cutting it down. Just keep trimming. Yeah, actually, the wiring harness that goes to the actuator, that should actually have come through that hole and across there. You can see where somebody hasn't fitted it back properly. All right. Once you've got this down to this level, in fact, I might just, because it's so manky, is it going to come off? No, okay. This may need to be re-treated with fresh butyl, but worry about that later. Yours shouldn't look like that. If you'd taken your time, pulled it, well, I like to cut it away work your way around, all the way around, and then you have a nice amount of it still on the door, and there's a little trick to reuse it. Anyway, once you are here, you actually got access to the regulator. Now, let me have a quick look. This one, yeah, there it is, I can see it. Okay, it has been pinned up. There is a self-tapper in there, which is currently holding the window up. Let's get this pulled out. Okay, self-tapper. Now that is all that was holding this window up. Now it should, if we work it, come down a little bit. So, it is still connected. The reason we need it to come down a little bit is so that we can get the... Oh, okay, all right, I see what's happened. It's been really bodged. I had a feeling it had something wedged in it. It had electrical tape trying to hold the glass up. Okay, so the glass is held in to the regulator with this little green plastic piece. If you get it down to this little inspection window here, you can poke a screwdriver through and unhook the glass from that green plastic, which I will do now. I'll try to anyway. Push that up. That's it. So that has pulled the glass away from the reg. Now sometimes the glass will stay there. In fact, we'll give it a bit of a twist. Okay, it wants to go down, but that's okay. It's disconnected from the reg. We can worry about it later. Now, to actually remove the reg from the door, it's just 3 10mm nuts. We've got one at the bottom. Actually, before you do that, unclip the motor first. And there's a little tab on the back of the motor. Unplug the motor. Now it will be ready to come out once you undo it. 10mm there, and a 10mm at the top. And then we hold the window in place. That will come down, that will come up into that corner, and then we should be able to pull it all out through the bottom like that. Now, I just want to make sure the glass isn't going to fall too far. But now we have a regulator. So, with the aftermarket regulators, they don't actually come with a motor, so it is just a matter of swapping it over, which we'll go and do over there. So this particular brand of aftermarket regulator comes with 3 bolts that replace the original bolts holding the motor to the regulator. I'll just take those out so we have them ready to go. Now, to remove the motor from the old one, it's just 3 Torx bits. And the old bolts are super aggressive, like, what do you call them? They almost look like self-tappers, not bolts. And there you can see all the mangled cable. Okay, so that's how the motor comes off. Unfortunately, the cable has chewed into the seal a little bit here. I don't think it's going to be an issue. Just make sure there's no chunks of metal on the teeth. This one's all pretty good. And then it's just a matter of fitting the motor to the old regulator. Sorry, the old motor to the new regulator, which should... sits in tightly, and then we've just got to put the bolts in. That's the 3 bolts back in place, and the motor is now secure to the new regulator. So now it's time to put it back in the door. So now it's just a reverse of removing it. So we've got to try and squeeze the regulator in through this hole at the bottom, which always seems to be harder with the new regs. And I think it's because the cables are actually all tensioned, not floppy. Let's try this way. We'll go up that way. It would help if we put the glass up. Keep the glass up out of the way. And that is now in place. Just going to put a nut on to stop it from falling away. Then we can do up the other two. And then we can reconnect the motor to its power source. Okay, so the last thing to do here is just to get the glass to actually sit into the new regulator properly. And it's just a matter of pulling the glass down into the clip. That's done. Right, it's all pretty easy. What we do need to do is work out what I'm going to do with this. Okay, so what I normally do is just reheat it. Not reheat it, but heat it up with a heat gun, and it normally allows it to become tacky enough to work. And most of it is still in contact with this foam. I'm just going to heat it up. I'm going to heat it up as much as I can and then try and get the foam to stick again. The way I'll do it, I'll start at the bottom, work my way up, so you see how we go. You guys can watch it on time-lapse. Okay, that's the most time-consuming part of the job by far. The next part is probably the trickiest part, and that's getting the door card back on. The way I do them is, first thing, make sure you have all your screws that you're not going to lose. So have all the screws out. The 3 Torx bits. We will plug the actuator back in first. Actually, while I'm talking about it, I have spent ages working the top of that weather shield just to try and keep the water from getting in the door, but we'll just see how it goes. I'm not overly confident in it. Anyway, getting the door reconnected. Connect the window switch first, which is that wire there. Put that in. Then the speaker, which is the blue connector. And then I'll reconnect the little wiring holder, which goes to that point there. Now, trying to keep the door card close to where it needs to be. We'll reconnect the handle. Now, these are actually really easy to reconnect. Just make sure it's still clipped in properly at the top. You do need to hold the handle in the closed position. And you slide the front of it in, clip it in. Then we have an actuating door handle, so that's all working. And the next thing, I will hold the bottom 2 clips about where they need to be, and then feed the door lock in the top, and basically pop those bottom ones in. And then work your way up to the top. Right. Now make sure it's all seated tightly all the way around so you haven't missed any clips. We're good. Now it's just the 3 Torx screws that were the first bits we undid. Again, we got the one at the top. Then the handle trim goes on first. That clips back on. And then the wood grain trim. And the door needs a clean. But all that's left is to see if it's fixed. So, key on, and down, and up. Oh, okay, so I think that means it needs to be reset, which I think you do by simply holding the button all the way down. Hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then hold the switch all the way up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. So now we should have auto. No hands. All the way down and all the way up. I'll open the sunroof. Okay. About 20 minutes has passed. I had to research how to actually recalibrate the anti-trap function. I've never recalled that it's been this much of a pain in the ass, but to actually calibrate it, and I read I don't know, I probably read about 20 different methods online. I ended up following the Ista method, which the GoPro probably doesn't pick up, but I will list this on the screen. What I had to do was open all of the windows all the way down. Then with that one at the back, hold it all the way down. I'll just show you guys, it is actually working. And then all the way up in auto mode. Done. Yeah, hold it all the way down, and you have to hold it for 15 to 20. I'll just put it on the screen. If you're having trouble initializing your windows after replacing the regulator, just follow what's on the screen now. Pause it, and you'll get a shot of it. Woo! All right, guys, window regs replaced. That was a pain in the ass. All right, and I have actually done that one as well now. Boom. So fancy, having all these windows working. All right, I will put a link on where to get these regs. We actually keep them in stock on 0to60.com. And if you've got any questions about doing it, let me know. Peace.